Welcome to Sports Live Media on YouTube. It's your guy Sports Live with the video for today. Today's going to be kind of a lengthy video, but I think this will be a good one. Today, we are going to talk about the complete history of the Alabama Crimson Tide football program. In this program, we will go over some history of Bryant Denny Stadium. We will go over who has coached Alabama football for the time that they have. We'll go over the years they won conference championships and national championships. We will also go over in depth from the very beginning of their football program from 1892 through last year of 2023 with every game they played, when they were played, and what the final scores were in that game. So bear with me as we go through this video today. I hope that this will be a good learning video for everybody. So here we go. Bryant Denny Stadium was officially started in 1928 in December. It opened for the first time September 28th, 1929. It was originally named Denny Stadium from the name of the school's president from 1912 to 1932. In 1975, the Alabama State Legislature added longtime head coach and alumnus Bear to the stadium's name. Right now, it is the fourth largest stadium in the Southwestern Conference, the eighth largest stadium in the United States, and the 10th largest stadium in the world. The stadium has been expanded 8 times to allow for more seating. The original seating capacity was 12,000. It was expanded in 1937 to a capacity of 24,000. It was expanded again in 1946. Other expansions occurred in 1961, 1966, 1988, 1998, 2006, and 2010. It now has a seating capacity of 100,077. The original cost of the original stadium that was built in 1928 and opened in 1929 cost $196,000 back in 1929. If you factor in inflation, that is the equivalent to $3,599,855.20 in 2024. That's a little bit of the history of Bryant Denny Stadium. Now, let's look at who has coached Alabama football and the history of those coaches and when they did whatever. There has been 28 football coaches in the history of Alabama football, including one interim coach. So here we go with that history. E.B. Beaumont coached in 1892. Next, you had Eli Abbott, who coached 1893 to 1895, and then again in 1902. Then you had Otto Wagenhurst, who coached in 1896. Alan McCants, 1897. There was no team fielded for the University of Alabama in 1898. In 1899, next on the list was W.A. Martin. Next was Malcolm Griffin in 1900. Then you had M.S. Harvey in 1901. W.B. Blunt coached Alabama 1903 to 1904. Then you had Jack Leavenworth, who coached 1905. Next was J.W.H. Pollard from 1906 to 1909. Then you had Guy Lohman, 1910. D.V. Graves, 1911 to 1914. Next you had Thomas Kesley from 1915 to 1917. You had Zen Scott from 1919 to 1922. Next, you had Wallace Wade from 1923 to 1930. Then you had Frank Thomas from 1931 to 1946. Next, you had Harold Drew, 1947 to 1954. Then you had Jennings B. Whitworth from 1955 to 1957. Next, you had Bear Bryant, who coached Alabama from 1958 to 1982. Next, you had Ray Perkins from 1983 to 1986. Then you had Bill Curry from 1987 to 1989. Next, you had Gene Stallings from 1990 to 1996. Then you had Mike DuBose from 1997 to 2000. Then you had Dennis Franchione 2001 to 2002. You had Mike Price, who coached in 2003. I think he coached the spring game, but he didn't coach an actual regular game that year. Mike Shula took over in the later part of 2003 and coached through a part of the 2006 season. I don't believe he finished the 2006 coaching season. There was an interim coach in 2006. I don't have the name of that individual who was the interim coach. Then you had Nick Saban from 2007 to 2023, and starting on, in January of 2024, the newest and 28th head coach for the Alabama Crimson Tide is Jalen DeBoer. He is the newest coach for the Alabama Crimson Tide football team. So now that we've gone over some of that, let's look at some other history from the Alabama Crimson Tide football. In the history of their program from 1892 to 2023, they officially have 954 wins, 336 losses, 43 ties with a win percentage of 73.3%. Note, due to rules violations, Alabama had 21 additional victories that were vacated from 2005 to 2007. They also had 8 victories and 1 tie forfeited in 1993. So the number when I gave you with the 954 wins, 336 losses, and 43 ties, that's the result of the official win-loss and tie scale, even after you account for the rules violations. In the history of the Alabama Crimson Tide football program, Alabama has won 34 conference titles. Of the 34, 4 of them were within the Southern Conference in 1924, 1925, 1926, and 1930. The remaining 30 conference titles have been in the Southeastern Conference. Here's when the Southeastern Conference championships occurred for Alabama Crimson Tide football. 1933, 1934, 1937, 1945, 1953, 1961, 1964, 65, 66, 1971, 72, 73, 74, 75, 1977, 78, 79, 1981, 1989, 1992, 1999, 2009, 2012, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2018, 2020, 2021, and 2023. Alabama has 18 claimed national championship wins. Those occurred in 1925, 1926, 1930, 1934, 1941, 1961, 1964, 1965, 1973, 1978, 1979, 1992, 2009, 2011, 2012, 2015, 2017, 2020. Alabama also has 5 unclaimed national championships. 2 of them come from going undefeated in regular season, but they did not play for an actual national championship. The other 3 are based on mathematical polls that favor Alabama winning said championships despite 1 loss in those respective seasons. The first unclaimed national championship, the 5 unclaimed national championship years are as follows: 1945, 1966, 1975, 1977, and 2016. From 1892 to 2023, Alabama has had 11 undefeated seasons. The longest winning streak was 28 games between 1978 and 1980. The longest home game winning streak was 57 games between 1963 and 1982. Note, overtime started in college football if score tied at the end of regulation in 1996 per NCAA rules. The first game Alabama was involved in overtime took place against Kentucky October 4th, 1997. This game, Alabama lost 40-34. The first overtime game Alabama won was November 8th, 2008 versus LSU. Alabama won that game 27-20. Prior to 1996, any games that was tied at the end of regulation would just end in a tie, as the overall win-loss tie record indicates. So now, with that, let's go into the actual history of the Alabama Crimson Tide football program. This program started in 1892, and I have all of the games they played, who they played, and what the final score was, and we will go 1892 all the way through 2023. So let's go with this. In 1892, on November 11th, they played Birmingham High School, won 56-0. They played the Birmingham Athletic Club on November 12th, lost that one 5-4. They played the Birmingham Athletic Club again December 10th, won 14-0. On February 22nd, 1893, they played Auburn and lost 32-22. Let's move on. 1893. They played the Birmingham Athletic Club twice, once on October 14th and lost that game 4-0, and then again on November 4th, they lost 10-8. They played Sewanee November 11th, lost that game 20-0, and then they played Auburn November 30th and lost 40-16. So next we have is 1894. On October 27th of 1894, they played Ole Miss, lost 6-0. Tulane on November 3rd won 18-6. Sewanee November 15th won 24-4. Auburn November 29th won 18-0. In 1895, they played Georgia November 2nd, lost 30-6. Tulane November 16th lost 22-0. LSU, November 18th, lost 12-6. Auburn, November 23rd, lost 48-0. In 1896, they played the Birmingham Athletic Club October 24th, won 30-0. On October 31st, they played Sewanee. They lost 10-6. November 14th, they played Mississippi State, won 20-0. In 1897, they played the Tuscaloosa Athletic Club in one game. November 13th, won that one 6-0. 1898, they did not field the team. I do not know the reasons why. There's different reasons that they may have not had a team, but nothing's really official, so we'll just say they didn't field the team, and I really don't know the reason why. In 1899, they played the Tuscaloosa Athletic Club on October 21st, won 16-5. They played the Montgomery Athletic Club November 11th, won 16-0. They played Ole Miss November 24th, won 7-5. New Orleans Athletic Club they played on November 25th and lost 21-0. In 1900, they played Taylor School October 21st, won 35-0. They played Ole Miss October 26th, won 12-5. Tulane on November 3rd, lost 6-0. Auburn November 17th, lost 53-5. Clemson November 29th, lost 35-0. In 1901, they played Ole Miss October 19th, won 41-0. Georgia on November 9th tied the game 0-0. At the end of regulation. Auburn, November 15th, lost the game 17-0. Mississippi State won 45-0. And they played that game on November 16th. On November 28th, they played Tennessee, and they tied that game 6-6. In 1902, on October 10th, they played Birmingham High School, won the game 57-0. Marion Institute on October 13th, won 81-0. Auburn, October 18th, lost 23-0. Georgia, November 1st, lost 5-0. Mississippi State, November 8th, won 27-0. Texas, November 11th, lost 10-0. Georgia Tech, November 27th, won 26-0. LSU, November 29th, lost 11-0. Next, we move to 1903. On October 10th, they played Vanderbilt, lost 30-0. October 16th, they played Mississippi State, lost 11-0. October 23rd, they played Auburn, won 18-6. Sewanee on November 2nd, lost 23-0. LSU, November 9th, won 18-0. Cumberland, November 14th, lost 44-0. Tennessee, November 26th, won 24-0. In 1904, they played October 3rd, Florida, won 29-0. October 8th, Clemson, lost 18-0. Mississippi State, October 15th, won 6-0. Nashville, October 24th, won 17-0. Georgia, November 5th, won 16-5. Auburn, November 12th, lost 29-5. Tennessee, November 24th, lost 5-0. LSU, December 2nd, won 11-0. Tulane, December 3rd, won 6-0. Pensacola Athletic Club, December 4th, won 10-5. In 1905, they played Maryville in Tennessee on October 3rd, won 17-0. They played Vanderbilt on October 7th, lost 34-0. Mississippi State, October 14th, won 34-0. Georgia Tech, October 21st, lost 12-5. Clemson, October 25th, lost 25-0. Georgia, November 4th, won 36-0. Centre College, November 9th, won 21-0. Auburn, November 18th, won 30-0. Sewanee, November 23rd, lost 42-6. Tennessee, on November 30th, they won the game 29-0. Next we have is 1906. They played Maryville in Tennessee on October 6th. Won that game 6-0. October 13th, they played Howard, won 14-0. Vanderbilt on October 20th, lost 78-0. Mississippi State, November 3rd, won 16-4. Auburn, November 17th, won 10-0. Tennessee, November 29th, won 51-0. In 1907, they played Maryville in Tennessee on October 8th, won 17-0. They played Ole Miss on October 12th, won 20-0. October 21st, Sewanee, they lost 54-4. Georgia, October 25th, they tied the game 0-0. Centre College, November 2nd, won 12-0. Auburn, November 16th, tied 6-6. LSU, November 23rd, won the game 6-4. Tennessee on November 28th won the game 5-0. In 1908, October 3rd, they played Wetumpka Agriculture, won 27-0. Howard, they played October 10th, won 17-0. They played Cincinnati on October 17th, won 16-0. On October 24th, they played Georgia Tech, lost 11-6. On October 31st, they played Tennessee out of Chattanooga, won 23-6. November 14th, they played Georgia, tied the game 6-6. They played Haskell Institute November 20th, won the game 9-8. And they played Tennessee November 26th and won the game 4-0. Next we have is 1909. They played Union College on October 2nd, won the game 16-0. Howard on October 9th won 14-0. Clemson October 16th won 3-0. Ole Miss October 23rd tied the game with a final score 0-0. Georgia October 30th won 14-0. Tennessee on November 13th won 10-0. Tulane November 20th tied the game 5-5. LSU November 25th lost 12-6. In 1910, they played Birmingham Southern on October 1st, won 25-0. Marian Institute on October 8th won 26-0. Georgia, October 15th, lost 22-0. Georgia Tech, October 22nd, lost 36-0. Ole Miss, November 5th, lost 16-0. Sewanee, November 12th, lost 30-0. Tulane, November 19th, won 5-3. Washington and Lee, November 24th, won 9-0. In 1911, on September 30th, they played Howard, won 24-0. On October 7th, they played Georgia, lost 11-3. Birmingham Southern, October 14th, won 47-5. Mississippi State was next on October 21st. They tied the game 6-6. On October 29th, they played Georgia Tech, and they tied that game also 0-0. They played Marian Institute on November 4th, won 35-0. Sewanee, next opponent on November 11th, lost 3-0. Tulane, November 18th, won 22-0. Davidson, November 30th, won 16-6. Next, we move to 1912. On September 28th, they played Marian Institute, won 52-0. Then they played Birmingham Southern on October 5th, won 62-0. Next was Georgia Tech on October 12th, where they lost 20-3. Mississippi State, October 18th, lost 7-0. Georgia, October 26th, lost 13-9. Tulane, November 2nd, won 7-0. Ole Miss, November 9th, won 10-9. Sewanee on November 16th tied the game 6-6. Tennessee, November 28th, won the game 7-0. In 1913, the University of Alabama played Howard on September 27th, won 27-0. They played Birmingham Southern on October 4th, won 81-0. Clemson on October 11th, won 20-0. Georgia, October 18th, lost 20-0. Tulane, October 25th, won 26-0. Mississippi College, November 1st, won 21-3. Sewanee, November 9th, lost 10-7. Tennessee, they lost to November 14th, and they won 6-0. They played Mississippi State. No date was assigned for that date when they played, but they did play each other, and they lost the game 7-0. In 1914, Alabama played Howard on October 3rd, won the game 13-0. They played Birmingham Southern on October 10th, won 54-0. Georgia Tech on October 17th, won 13-0. Tennessee on October 24th, lost 17-7. Tulane, October 31st, won 51-0. Sewanee, November 7th, lost 18-0. Tennessee and Chattanooga, November 13th, won 63-0. Mississippi State, November 26th, they lost 9-0, and they played Carlisle December 2nd and lost 20-3. Next we have is 1915. On October 2nd, they played Howard, won 44-0. Next on October 9th, they played Birmingham Southern, won 67-0. Then they played Mississippi College on October 16th, won 40-0. Next on October 23rd was Tulane, where they won 16-0. They played Sewanee October 30th and won that game 23-10. They played Georgia Tech November 6th, lost 21-7. They played Texas November 13th, lost 20-0. They played Ole Miss on November 25th and won the game 53-0. In 1916, Alabama played Birmingham Southern on September 30th and won 13-0. Then they played Alabama Southern on October 7th, won 80-0. Mississippi College was next on October 14th, where they won 13-7. Next was Florida on October 21st, where they won 16-0. Then they played Ole Miss on October 28th and won the game 27-0. They played Sewanee on November 4th, won the game 7-6. They played Georgia Tech on November 11th and lost 13-0. Next was Tulane on November 18th, where they lost 33-0, and they played Georgia on November 30th and lost the game 3-0. Let's move to 1917. They played the Second Ambulance Company of Ohio on October 3rd and won 7-0. Then they played Marian Institute on October 12th, won 13-0. Mississippi College, October 20th, won 46-0. Ole Miss, October 26th, won 64-0. Sewanee, November 3rd, tied 3-3. Vanderbilt, November 10th, lost 7-2. Kentucky, November 17th, won 27-0. Camp Gordon, November 29th, lost the game 19-6. What I'm going to do is for the rest of these, I'm just going to state the year, and then I'm going to state the date and who played, and we'll just go through simple like that to make it a little easier. In 1918, no football was held due to effects from World War I. In 1919, Birmingham Southern on October 4th won 27-0. Ole Miss on October 11th, they won 49-0. Howard on October 18th won 48-0. Marian Institute October 24th won 61-0. Sewanee November 1st won 40-0. Vanderbilt November 8th lost 16-12. LSU November 15th won 23-0. Georgia November 22nd won 6-0. Mississippi State November 27th won 14-6. In 1920, September 25th, Southern Military Institute won 59-0. Marian Institute October 2nd won 49-0. Birmingham Southern October 9th won 45-0. Mississippi College October 16th won 57-0. Howard October 23rd won 33-0. Sewanee October 30th won 21-0. Vanderbilt November 6th won 14-7. LSU November 13th won 21-0. Georgia November 20th lost 21-14. Mississippi State November 25th won 24-7. Case Western Reserve November 27th won 40-0. In 1921, Alabama played Howard September 24th, won 34-14. Spring Hill October 1st, won 27-7. Excuse me. Marian Institute October 8th, won 55-0. Marian College October 15th, won 95-0. Let's see, Sewanee, October 22nd, lost 17-0. LSU, October 29th, tied 7-7. Vanderbilt, November 5th, lost 14-0. Florida, November 11th, lost 9-2. Georgia, November 19th, lost 22-0. Mississippi State, November 24th, tied 7-7. Tulane, December 3rd, won 14-7. 1922, Marian Institute, September 30th, won 110-0. Yes, that is not a misprint. That is an actual score. Oglethorpe, October 7th, won 41-0. Georgia Tech, October 14th, lost 33-7. Sewanee, October 21st, tied 7-7. Texas, October 28th, lost 19-10. Penn, November 4th, won 9-7. LSU, November 10th, won 47-3. Kentucky, November 18th, lost 6-0. Georgia, November 25th, won 10-6. Mississippi State, November 30th, won 59-0. 1923, Alabama played Union College September 29th, won 12-0. Ole Miss, October 6th, won 56-0. Syracuse, October 13th, lost 23-0. Sewanee, October 20th, won 7-0. Spring Hill, October 27th, won 59-0. Georgia Tech, November 3rd, tied 0-0. Kentucky, November 10th, won 16-8. LSU, November 16th, won 30-3. Georgia, November 24th, won 36-0. Florida, November 29th, lost 16-6. Next we have is 1924. They played Union College September 27th, won 55-0. Furman October 4th, won 20-0. Mississippi College October 11th, won 55-0. Sewanee October 18th, won 14-0. Georgia Tech October 25th, won 14-0. Ole Miss November 1st, won 61-0. Kentucky November 8th, won 42-7. Centre College November 15th, lost 17-0. Georgia November 27th, won 33-0. In 1925, Alabama played Union College September 26th, won 53-0. Birmingham Southern on October 2nd, won 50-7. LSU October 10th, won 42-0. Sewanee October 17th, won 27-0. Georgia Tech October 24th, won 7-0. Mississippi State October 31st, won 6-0. Kentucky, November 7th, won 31-0. Florida, November 14th, won 34-0. Georgia, November 26th, won 27-0. Washington was played on January 1st of 1926, and that game was won 20-19. 1926. Against Millsaps, they won 54-0 on September 24th. Vanderbilt on October 2nd won 19-7. Mississippi State October 9th won 26-7. Georgia Tech October 16th won 21-0. Sewanee October 23rd won 2-0. LSU on October 30th won 24-0. Kentucky November 6th won 14-0. Florida on November 13th won 49-0. Georgia on November 25th won 33-6. They played Stanford on January 1st of 1927 and tied that game 7-7. Next, we have 1927. They played Millsaps September 24th, won 46-0. Southwestern Presbyterian September 30th, won 31-0. LSU October 8th tied the game 0-0. Georgia Tech October 15th lost 13-0. Sewanee October 22nd won 24-0. Mississippi State October 29th won 13-7. Kentucky November 5th won 21-6. Florida, November 12th, lost 13-6. Georgia, November 24th, lost 20-6. Vanderbilt, December 3rd, lost 14-7. In 1928, Alabama played Ole Miss October 6th, won that game 27-0. Mississippi State on October 13th won 46-0. Tennessee on October 20th lost the game 15-13. They played Sewanee on October 27th and won 42-12. They played Wisconsin November 3rd, lost 15-0. Kentucky was on November 10th, won the game 14-0. Georgia Tech on November 17th lost the game 33-13. Georgia November 29th won the game 19-0. LSU December 8th won the game 13-0. 1929, Alabama played Mississippi College September 28th and won 55-0. They played Ole Miss October 5th, won 22-7. Tennessee and Chattanooga on October 12th, won 46-0. Tennessee October 19th, lost 6-0. Sewanee October 26th, won 35-7. Vanderbilt November 2nd, lost 13-0. Kentucky on November 9th, won 24-13. Georgia Tech November 16th, won the game 13-0. Georgia November 28th, lost the game 12-0. Next we have is 1930. Alabama played Howard September 27th and won 43-0. Ole Miss on October 4th won 64-0. Sewanee October 11th won 25-0. Tennessee October 18th won 18-6. Vanderbilt, October 25th, won 12-7. Kentucky, November 1st, won 19-0. Florida, November 8th, won 20-0. LSU, November 15th, won 33-0. Georgia, November 27th, won 13-0. They played Washington State January 1st of 1931 and won that game 29-0. In 1931, Alabama played Howard September 26th, won 42-0. Ole Miss October 3rd, won 55-6. Mississippi State October 10th, won 53-0. Tennessee October 17th, lost 25-0. Sewanee October 24th, won 33-0. Kentucky October 31st, won 9-7. Florida November 7th, won 41-0. Clemson November 14th, won 74-7. Vanderbilt November 26th, won 14-6. Tennessee Chattanooga December 5th, won 39-0. In 1932, Alabama played Southwestern Presbyterian September 24th, won 45-6. Mississippi State on October 1st, won 53-0. George Washington October 8th, won 28-6. Tennessee October 15th, lost 7-3. Ole Miss October 22nd, won 24-13. Kentucky October 29th, won 12-7. November 5th, Virginia Tech won 9-6. Georgia Tech, they played November 12th, they lost 6-0. Vanderbilt November 24th, won 20-0. St. Mary's in California December 3rd, won 6-0. Next we have is 1933. They played Oglethorpe September 30th, won 34-0. Ole Miss October 7th, tied the game 0-0. Mississippi State October 14th, won 18-0. Tennessee October 21st, won 12-6. Fordham October 28th, lost 2-0. Kentucky November 4th, won 20-0. Virginia Tech November 11th, won 27-0. Georgia Tech November 18th, won 12-9. Vanderbilt November 30th, won 7-0. In 1934, Alabama played Howard September 29th, won 24-0. Sewanee on October 5th, won 35-6. Mississippi State October 13th, won 41-0. Tennessee October 20th, won 13-6. Georgia October 27th, won 26-6. Kentucky November 3rd, won 34-14. Clemson on November 10th, won 40-0. I'm sorry. Georgia Tech November 17th, won 40-0. Vanderbilt November 29th, won 34-0. They played Stanford on January 1st of 1935 and won that game 29-13. For the 1935 football season, Alabama played Howard September 28th, tied the game 7-7. They played George Washington October 5th, won 39-0. Mississippi State October 12th, lost 20-7. Tennessee October 19th, won 25-0. Georgia October 26th, won 17-7. Kentucky November 2nd, won 13-0. Clemson November 9th, won 33-0. Georgia Tech, November 16th, won 38-7. Vanderbilt, November 28th, lost the game 19-6. Let's move on to the next year, shall we? In 1936, Alabama played Howard September 26th, won 34-0. Clemson on October 3rd, won 32-0. Mississippi State October 10th, won 7-0. Tennessee on October 17th tied the game 0-0. Loyola and New Orleans October 24th, won 13-6. Kentucky October 31st, won 14-0. Tulane November 7th, Alabama won 34-7, sorry. They played Georgia Tech November 14th, won 20-16. They played Vanderbilt November 25th, won 14-6. In 1937, Alabama played Howard September 25th, won 41-0. They played Sewanee on October 2nd, won 65-0. On October 9th, they played South Carolina, won 20-0. October 16th was Tennessee, and they won 14-7. October 23rd was George Washington, won 19-0. They played Kentucky October 30th, won 41-0. They played Tulane November 6th, won 9-6. They played Georgia Tech November 13th, won that game 7-0. They played Vanderbilt November 25th and won the game 9-7. And then they played California on January 1st of 1938, and they lost that game 13-0. In 1938, the University of Alabama played USC on September 24th, won that game 19-7. Howard on October 1st won 34-0. North Carolina State, or what is commonly called NC State now, October 8th won 14-0. Tennessee, October 15th, lost 13-0. Sewanee, October 22nd, won 32-0. Kentucky, October 29th, won 26-6. Tulane, November 5th, won 3-0. Georgia Tech, November 12th, tied the game 14-14. Vanderbilt on November 24th won 7-0. In 1939, the University of Alabama played Howard September 30th, won 21-0. They played Fordham on October 7th, won the game 7-6. Mercer October 14th, won 20-0. Tennessee October 21st, lost 21-0. Mississippi State on October 28th won 7-0. Kentucky, November 4th, tied the game at 7-7. Tulane, November 11th, lost the game 13-0. Georgia Tech on November 18th, they lost the game 6-0. Vanderbilt, November 30th, won the game 39-0. In 1940, Alabama played Spring Hill September 27th, won 26-0. Mercer on October 5th won 20-0. Howard October 12th won 31-0. Tennessee October 19th lost 27-12. Kentucky November 2nd won 25-0. Tulane November 9th won 13-6. Georgia Tech November 16th won 14-3. Vanderbilt November 23rd won 25-21. Mississippi State, November 30th, lost 13-0. Alrighty, now we have 1941. 1941, Alabama played Southwestern Louisiana September 27th and won 41-6. They played Mississippi State October 4th, lost 14-0. Howard on October 11th won 61-0. Tennessee October 18th won 9-2. Georgia, October 25th, won 27-14. Kentucky, November 1st, won 30-0. Tulane, November 8th, won 19-14. Georgia Tech, November 15th, won 20-0. Vanderbilt, November 22nd, lost 7-0. Miami, November 28th, won 21-7. Texas A&M, they played on January 1st of 1942 and won that game 29-21. In 1942, the University of Alabama played Southeastern Louisiana September 25th, won 54-0. Mississippi State October 3rd, won 21-6. Pensacola Navy October 10th, won 27-0. Tennessee on October 17th won 8-0. Kentucky October 24th won 14-0. Georgia October 31st lost 21-10. South Carolina November 7th won 29-0. Georgia Tech November 14th lost 7-0. Vanderbilt November 21st won 27-7. Georgia Pre-Flight November 28th lost 35-19. They played Boston College January 1st of 1943 and won the game 37-21. In 1943, there was no team fielded by the University of Alabama football team due to World War II. In 1944, Alabama played LSU September 30th, tied the game 27-27. They played Howard October 7th, won 63-7. Millsaps October 14th, won 55-0. Tennessee October 21st, tied the game 0-0. Kentucky October 27th, won 41-0. Georgia November 4th, lost 14-7. Ole Miss November 11th, won 34-6. Mississippi State November 18th, won 19-0. They played Duke on January 1st of 1945 and lost the game 29-26. In 1945, Alabama played Keesler Army Field September 29th, won 21-0. LSU October 6th, won 26-7. South Carolina October 13th, won 55-0. Tennessee October 20th, won 25-7. Georgia October 27th, won 28-19. Kentucky November 3rd, won 60-19. Vanderbilt on November 17th, won 71-0. Pensacola NAS November 24th, won 55-6. Mississippi State was next on December 1st, where Alabama won 55-13. They played USC, or the University of Southern California, on January 1st of 1996 and won the game 34-14. In 1946 season, Alabama played Furman September 20th, won 26-7. Tulane September 28th, won 7-6. South Carolina October 5th, won 14-6. Southwestern Louisiana October 12th, won 54-0. Tennessee October 19th, lost 12-0. Kentucky October 26th, won 21-7. Georgia November 2nd, lost 14-0. LSU November 9th, lost 31-21. Vanderbilt November 16th, won 12-7. Boston College November 23rd, lost 13-7. Mississippi State November 30th, won 24-7. In 1947, Alabama played Southern Miss September 20th and won 34-7. Tulane September 27th, lost 21-20. Vanderbilt October 4th, lost 14-7. Duquesne October 11th, won 26-0. Tennessee on October 18th, won 10-0. Georgia October 25th, won 17-7. Kentucky November 1st, won 13-0. Georgia Tech November 15th, won 14-7. LSU November 22nd, won 41-12. Miami on November 29th, won 21-6. And they play Texas on January 1st of 1948 and lost the game 27-7. The University of Alabama football team in the 1948 season played Tulane September 25th, lost 21-19. Vanderbilt October 2nd, tied the game 14-14. Duquesne October 8th, won 48-6. Tennessee October 16th, lost 21-6. Mississippi State October 23rd, won 10-7. Georgia October 30th, lost 35-0. Southern Miss November 6th, won 27-0. Georgia Tech November 13th, won 14-12. LSU November 20th, lost 26-6. Florida November 27th, won 34-28. Auburn on December 4th won the game 55-0. Next we have is 1949. In 1949, Alabama played Tulane September 24th, lost 28-19. Vanderbilt on October 1st, lost 14-7. Duquesne October 7th, won 48-8. Tennessee October 15th, tied 7-7. Mississippi State October 22nd, won 35-6. Georgia October 29th, won 14-7. Georgia Tech, November 12th, won 20-7. Southern Miss, November 19th, won 34-26. Florida, November 26th, won 35-13. They played Auburn December 3rd and lost 14-13. In 1950, Alabama played Tennessee and Chattanooga September 23rd, won that game 27-0. Tulane on September 30th won 26-14. Vanderbilt October 7th lost 27-22. Furman October 13th won 34-6. Tennessee October 21st lost 14-9. Mississippi State October 28th won 14-7. Georgia November 4th won 14-7. Southern Miss November 11th won 53-0. Georgia Tech on November 18th won that game 54-19. Florida on November 25th won the game 41-13. They played Auburn December 2nd and won 34-0. In 1951, Alabama played Delta State September 21st and won 89-0. On September 29th, LSU, they lost 13-7. On October 6th, they played Vanderbilt and lost 22-20. Villanova on October 12th lost 41-18. Then Tennessee, October 20th, lost 27-13. They played Mississippi State October 27th, won 7-0. Georgia on November 3rd won 16-4. Southern Miss November 10th won 40-7. Georgia Tech lost 27-7 on November 17th. And Florida on November 24th, they lost 30-21. They played Auburn on December 1st and won 25-7. Let's move to 1952. Southern Miss, they played on September 19th and won 20-6. LSU on September 27th won 21-20. They played Miami on Miami but they played Miami on October 3rd, won that game 21-7. Virginia Tech on October 11th won 33-0. Tennessee October 18th lost 20-0. Mississippi State 25th of October won 42-19. They played Georgia November 1st, won 34-19. They played Tennessee of Chattanooga on November 8th and won that game 42-28. Georgia Tech on November 15th lost 7-3. Maryland on November 22nd won 27-7. Auburn on November 29th won 21-0. And they played Syracuse on January 1st of 1953 and won that game 61-6. Alabama in the 1953 football season played Southern Miss September 18th, lost 25-19. They played LSU September 26th, tied the game 7-7. Vanderbilt on October 3rd won 21-12. Tulsa October 10th won 41-13. Tennessee October 17th tied 0-0. Mississippi State October 24th tied the game 7-7. Georgia on October 31st, they won the game 33-12. Tennessee and Chattanooga, Alabama played November 7th and won the game 21-14. They played Georgia Tech on November 14th. Alabama won 13-6. Maryland on November 21st, they lost 21-0. They played Auburn November 28th, won the game 10-7. They played Rice on January 1st of 1954 and lost that game 28-6.